Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. This is episode 13 of Xclude with Xclude. My guest here tonight, it's getting pretty late, it's almost close to midnight, believe it or not, about an hour or two, or give or take, but we'll see how long this goes. Anyway, my guest here is a producer, DJ, live performer, very avid in the scene, came up from Dublin with a hard drive full of techno, and is progressing his way towards becoming an internationally known artist and a producer and whatever else he might come across. Ladies and gentlemen, I bring you pretty.digital tonight.
What's up? How are you?
Hey. Doing right, right?
Thanks for having me.
Oh, no problem. Thank you for spending your time.
Yeah,
and thank you out of your schedule with me. Again, the hardest thing about this podcast is actually reserving time for this whole thing. No, it's all good. It's all good.
Yeah.
Burn the midnight oil.
Yeah.
But anyway, dude, how was your weekend?
It's good, yeah. My mother's over visiting, so we were out doing the tourist thing this weekend.
Gotcha. I was over at the Labyrinth party. Labyrinth, and also as well, I was at the Liaison Room.
Very good.
Yeah, had a good time there. Dale has a new space. Dale Rushmeyer has a new space over somewhere in Philly. I won't disclose where.
Yeah.
But it's a cool little space. As soon as I got upstairs, it felt like kind of like a club kind of area.
Lovely.
Different kinds of rooms. Good system, of course. Local crowd was there. And then I went, after that, the next day, on the Saturday, went to Liaison Room and was just supporting some local DJs that were there as well. Jonathan, Alex Miles, and Ben Clay supporting that kind of progressive house kind of scene.
Lovely.
Just as well that it's progressing just as much as techno in this in the city of Philadelphia, for goodness sake.
It's a good spot. That's only around the corner from my house.
Oh, really? No shit.
Yeah.
But dude, where did you grow up, actually, I should say?
I grew up in Dublin.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Is there a music scene over there in Dublin? Is there, some
There
kind
is,
of
yeah.
poppin'?
There's a good scene. I tell you, it's there's a good scene. There's a lot of talented people, but I think it's kind of maybe a little bit isolated. It's nothing like over here, you know what I mean? Like we've got New York up the road here, and DC and Baltimore and all, but yeah, it's a great. Like I enjoy growing up, going to gigs and a lot of good festivals there now.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, some great festivals. That's
Is it primarily kind of like centered around one genre of music primarily, or is it kind of like progressing?
It's very diverse, and there's a lot going on. Like if we've what did I agree? I mean, a lot of electronic artists come through. A lot like Matador and all. It's coming up now. Bicep, obviously with the rock and the indie and all, like fucking U2 and all that. Like, but yeah, there's a lot of different genres of music, and we get a lot of big artists coming through. It's a good scene.
It's good to hear.
Yeah.
Now, what made you go from the jump from moving from Dublin over here stateside?
Right. I came over here a few years ago on holidays, and just with a few of my mates, and there was a couple of we kind of got speaking to these lads that were in a band, and the manager we sort of we're going. Can you hear us there? Yeah.
Check.
Cool. So we were going back and forth with these lads in the band, and the manager of the band, we became mates with them. I went home. I started making music back home. The manager of the band was like, "Look, I know people in the studio over in Philadelphia. If you want to come over and take it seriously." So it took me a bit. Sounded a bit too good to be true at first, but it took a bit of convincing. But yeah, I came over, and one thing led to another, and just there I am making music, and yeah, it's been great.
Very cool. Was there kind of a maybe like a culture shock? Did you have to get used to things around here in Philadelphia? Just simple interactions. Getting food and just kind of like knowing your way around.
I mean, the food. The only thing with the food is there's a lot more of it. Like, you know what I mean? It's not.
Gotcha.
Portions are a lot bigger, but yeah, it's nice. Like I love my food. Like it's.
Yeah, I mean, we got Chinatown, we got the
everything,
cheesesteaks,
Yeah. But a culture shock, I don't know. I think because I was in Miami first for a bit, Then I was in Fort Lauderdale. Then I was up in Maryland. That's where I wrote the album. And when I settled in Philly, I kind of felt like home. To be honest with you, Philly it's very similar to Dublin.
Gotcha.
The people have a similar attitude. It's kind of a similar size. Like it's not a. Yeah. So.
Gotcha. I feel with Florida in particular, it's kind of like everybody's like shouting for attention to a degree.
Yeah.
I've always kind of felt that, and also I feel the hot weather and the climate kind of lends itself.
That was a
that.
shock for me. The weather, like you don't even want to go outside half the time. Like
yeah, and when you do go outside, it's either super hot or like it just rains on you. Almost like kind of like London, I guess you could say in that regard. It's like it's not as rainy 24/7, but when it does rain, it pours. But thankfully, it only lasts, a couple minutes, maybe I don't know, maybe 30, 45 minutes, if that.
Yeah.
It's been a little while since I've been back there, but you know what I mean.
We get a lot of rain back home. It's
not God, I wish I would know that feeling. I haven't yet to travel to Dublin. I've traveled to Amsterdam, London, and Germany, and Dublin's on that list considering what you just said about that progressing scene just as well.
Yeah, it's great. Honestly, like the people are great. It's a great time. It's the country is small enough that you could go for like a week or two and see a lot, like tick a lot of boxes.
Mm-hmm.
I love it. I miss it. It's a good time, you know.
Now, how did you find this space? How did you settle down here in this area, like North Philly?
So, a fella I was producing was playing a gig at Boot and Saddle, and the band that was supporting him, where the singer was going back to a studio one night, and I went back with him, and we were going back and forth texting and all whatever, and then a couple of months went by, I hadn't seen him, and I was walking through City Centre, and there's a music art collective called Rec Philly here in the building. They're actually on the floor above us. They had a thing going on in Dilworth Park in City Centre, and he was there, and then he introduced me to them, and so I came. They do like lectures and all. It's like to promote artists. So I stopped by here one night, and then I just gave them a shout and seeing if they had any studio spaces available, and that was it.
Nice. Do you have any plans for this space? For those who haven't been up to the space, it's on like the top floor.
Yeah.
Let me paint the scene. It's on the top floor. There's wooden stairs. Once you before you even head upstairs, you gotta watch your head.
Yeah.
It's a little claustrophobic. You know, you might want to wear a hard hat or a helmet before you get in there, just to make sure you don't bump in your head.
Yeah.
Then you get up this like very small road, right?
It's a very safe environment.
And then you go up these small flight of stairs. It's very cozy.
Yeah.
Once you head up there, up the steep flight of stairs, which is short, he has all his synthesizers.
Yeah.
He's got there's some AC in there, thankfully.
Yeah.
There's a great view, fantastic view of the city. He puts it on his Instagram pretty frequently, and you have to see it in person. It does no justice for you viewing on Instagram how nice it is up there to actually see. And I would like to think that view kind of gives you kind of like some inspiration for some tracks at times.
Definitely.
When you kind of
I spend half my day up there. Like that's what all them pictures are about. I'm up there all the time.
Gotcha.
Because when I tell you what happened when I first came, I tried to get a studio in the building.
Okay.
Filled out the form, everything was great. Yeah, I'll get back to you. He got back to me. Must have spoke to the owner. The owner was like, we don't actually want any more studios in the building. It's too noisy. Like I was like, all right, fair enough. I'll try look for somewhere else then. I'm on Craigslist about 3 weeks later and I see the same space. So I sent an email from a different email address and a different name.
Right.
And he showed it to me. I just said I didn't say it was a recording studio. I just said I was doing some like media. And he's like, all right, I'm sure I've been up there and you can't hear anything when you're down here. So it doesn't make like,
gotcha.
I don't see why noise is an issue in the first place. But I love it up there. It's great. The fucking roof was leaking though last month. It's leaked twice now. They said they fixed it. I set all my shit back up, leaked again, had to move out. I've moved out twice.
Mm-hmm.
I've only been there 2 months.
Oh shit.
But it's grand. It's haven't had any issues now the last few weeks with it, but
thankfully.
Yeah.
And thankfully, it's getting the climate's becoming a little bit more colder. We're going into the fall season. It's not quite.
Yeah, it's nice
with
now.
Summer's dwindling down. You know, And so, things will change to a degree, and you're gonna see how long that roof lasts. And it's been holding up, so fingers crossed. You know what I
Fingers
mean?
crossed.
For
Yeah.
sure. What are your plans for this space? Last time I was here, we met up with, for correcting, Dale was his name.
Yeah.
We met up with him, and he had and you had some plans for the space. To have more lighting and do some live performances. Could you be a little bit more
Yeah.
explicit in that? Like what are your plans for that, man?
Well, I mean, I want to have it as a working studio, and that's where I create. And then if other artists, there's a lot of artists in this building, so people coming through have a space for them to work on stuff, But what I'm planning on doing is now I do techno music. My live stuff is techno, so I want to do like a monthly session, stream them, So I want it looking good and sounding good.
Gotcha.
And Dale is doing the lights for him. We're getting all the fucking lasers and fog machine and all. So we're
Oh,
gonna
that shit.
want to throw parties up there, and then have you can probably only fit about 20 people in the spot. But
It's intimate. It's cozy. Yeah.
But I'd like to have a situation where, because I've been fortunate enough to work with a lot of artists around the city, all different genres, hip hop, indie, rock and roll, whatever. So I'd like just I don't know, have people stop by and have a kind of. You've seen the way it's set up,
Yeah.
like it's kind of open. I want it to be engaging, you know. If someone feels like hopping on a synthesizer when I'm doing a set, by all means, go ahead,
Right.
But yeah, that's the plan anyway. Have it. People want to go out onto the roof for a drink or smoke or whatever.
Yeah, do whatever. It was almost like
just like a
like a chill space where everybody can
Exactly,
kind of congregate and also make music and jam out.
yeah. Because if you get like creatives in a room together, you never know what's going to happen. It could start off as a techno set, but when that's over, like someone might pick up a guitar or
Right.
something, and then
And that's perfectly
start
fine.
collaborating. Then, yeah.
Now, how would you describe your sound? We were just jamming not too long ago,
Yeah.
and I'll put some of that audio into the last bits of this podcast,
Right.
which I recorded. We were just banging. I was working the TR8S,
Yeah.
and you were working on the Roland JDXI as
The
well as the
Moog,
Moog,
yeah.
and that was an awesome track.
Yeah.
We were just jamming out and just kind of playing with like some like bass frequencies as well as some
Yeah.
acid kind of sounds. But anyway, going into your album that you made into 2017, again, I'm going to rephrase the question. How would you describe your sound, and how is that related to who you are as an artist?
Right. Good question. So I had all these songs I'd written over the years, and I put the album out in, what was it? It was 2016.
Yep, just about.
It was kind of like,
2017.
yeah. How do I explain this? Fucking. I don't know. I just had these songs that were written. They weren't one particular genre. It was kind of like a crossover. There was some techno music, some like fucking indie, some.
Whatever you came to your head.
Yeah, exactly. Just songs that I'd been working on and I wanted to put out. So I put the album out, and it was great. Really enjoyed making it and getting to work with all these different artists. And then after that, when it was out, about a month after that, I was kind of approached by a small record label here in Philly. They were like, "Look, we heard your album, and we were wondering if you'd be interested in making, like, I think there was like 10, 11 tracks in the album, making like a library of songs. Like they wanted 30 tracks to shop around for TV, for licensing and film. So we got a list of artists around Philly and who we'd like to work and what sounds, because I have loads of songs written. I have a hard drive full of stuff there, like, and it's not all just one genre, like, so I went back into the studio. I'd originally planned going touring that album and doing the live thing, but I went back into the studio for about, it was supposed to be 6 months, but it took me over a year to write all the music. Like,
Gotcha.
then I don't know, I kind of reached out to them. The music was ready. They were doing another thing by then, so I had all these tracks. So I kind of didn't really know what to be doing with them, to be honest with you. And then, so that's why I set up that alias. Like, my techno stuff is pretty.digital. That's what the album was under. But the new alias that I'm doing is Exit 342, and that's going to showcase all the music that I've done with the artists around Philly. Like, it's all different genres of
Gotcha.
music. It's fucking great. Some of the people that we got to work with it's been amazing. Like, and then the Pretty Digital is just gonna be techno. So kind of like, I guess what's after happening is the album kind of like we just split. You know, like
Right.
the techno stuff is Pretty Digital.
Yep.
Anything that's not
Fu-
techno.
Fully understand. It's kind of like Volkswagen, and then branching off and making Porsche, and then branching
Exactly.
off and making Audi.
Exactly.
They're all Volkswagen
Yeah,
products.
Yeah, exactly.
But they're just kind of disguised as another
Yeah.
brand for a different kind of base, for a different kind of fan base, for a different kind
Yeah.
of clientele, for a different kind of customer,
Yeah.
etc.
I mean, and that's it, because you don't want to confuse people too. I'm calling myself a techno artist, and then you go onto Spotify and you hear a pop song. Like,
What? Like, what is that? What the
but
fuck?
I don't
You
want to
saw that?
stop writing pop music. I don't want
Right.
to stop writing indie music, because I love writing music.
Mhm.
So now there's like an outlet for that. I've set a record label up. I've set all the social media up. That's gonna be getting launched next month. So that'll be like, we'll be putting out a track a month with Exit 342, maybe more, depends, you know.
Gotcha. Where did that name come from, Exit 342?
So that's the exit from 76 onto Gerrard,
Yeah.
Exit 342. And I used to get the bus into town all the time and see the sign. I'd be like, I have to use that because that's the number of the house I grew up in. back home, yeah.
Okay.
So, in my grandmother's house. Yeah.
Gotcha. No, that makes sense.
So I don't know. I was kind of.
It took me a while to find. It took me a while to find my DJ name, DJ Xclude.
Where'd you get that from?
It's very much a kind of like elongated process. I got that from me going to all these gay clubs, going to Voyeur, going to going to Eye Candy, going to Voyeur, going to Woody's,
Yeah.
and going out, on weekends, Fridays, and hearing all these tracks that these DJs are playing. And don't get me wrong, I had great nights there, but I kept noticing each time I went out, it's like, man, these guys are kind of playing that same kind of rotation
Yeah.
from artists that I hear all the time. And don't get me wrong, those are great artists, but those same great artists have cuts of off their album or off whatever release or whatever EP that I haven't heard of yet. And I'm like,
Yeah.
where are those tracks? I haven't heard those tracks that I've heard. I feel they should be played on the clubs and on kind of like a radio circuit. So I'm like, man, I felt excluded. I felt like I was,
Right.
like got
Very
singled
good.
out. Like, fuck. So I was like, from there I, kept going out, and then I eventually met up with DJ Biz, and he taught me a thing or two. Shout out to that guy. And then I, went to Amsterdam, had my ear to EDM, and then went to Germany, lent my ear to techno, and then went to London, heard some drum and bass, and just kept traveling and hearing all these different genres of electronic music that I love so much, but I feel aren't really as played as much as I want to
Yeah.
here in the Mid-Atlantic. And I kind of want to spread the word on that kind of as much as I can. And I feel that this podcast lends itself to that, and it
Yeah.
kind of reaching out to those local electronic artists that we have here and kind of pushing that and seeing how that can expand. Hopefully this city will be well known for the town that we have.
Yeah.
And it's
That's
beginning
great.
to show, which is great.
Yeah. It is. I think it is. Like there's a lot happening in Philly at the minute. Like I think it's
Yeah, I
sort
mean,
of
we're gonna
emerging
have
artists
we
that are
haven't
doing very well for themselves. Like.
agreed. And, we have Nina Kravitz coming along. We have
Fuck,
Anna
wow,
coming
so
along. I know,
much.
fuck. I already got my
I have a
tickets to
gig
Nina
that
Kravitz.
night.
Yep.
I have a gig that night, but I'm gonna try and make it afterwards. I
God.
know.
Oh.
Yeah.
It's gonna be best of luck on that night. It's gonna be a tough night, but it's gonna be
Yeah.
well worth it.
I don't know. I'll get me ticket and then see if I can make it after. But I'm sure there'll be an after party. Something happening
Right.
after.
No pressure. No
Yeah,
pressure. We still got
yeah.
time. What gives you the creativeness that you have? Like, what makes kind of a track? What makes a track work for you? Is it kind of sporadic? Is it kind of like the time of day? Is it something that you hear? Some kind of conversation? What gives you your creative kind of flow?
I don't know. I just try not to overthink it. I just go in there and fucking. When I started making music, I thought it was, I'll get all these plugins and all these fucking VSTs and instruments, and I kind of got a bit overwhelmed by it. Like, so I just had to simplify things a bit and treat myself like I was in a band, and you've got A, B, C, and D, and this is all you have to make your track, like, And then once I got kind of pretty handy with A, B, C, and D, I got E and F, and and then it started to spread into other genres. And I never grew up listening to one genre of music anyway. I don't like. That's insane to me. Like, if you're gonna listen to one fucking genre all your life, like, no. So that making different genres is enjoyable as well. Like, so I never really never really have a plan. I just sit down, see what comes out, you know. And sometimes it's good, sometimes it's not.
For me, my creative process, it's very kind of sporadic. I often get more creative the more I listen to music. Like if it's like a prolonged like
Yeah,
day or week to where I'm like constantly listening to something. It doesn't
Yeah.
have to be music. It could be like a, I don't know. It could be like a random podcast of Joe Rogan. It could be
Yeah, yeah.
whatever kind of yak new track is out. It could be
Yeah.
like some old Mary J. Blige. It could be some Nas. As long as I'm constantly listening to something,
That's
even if it's
it.
like background or banter, it gives me like an idea for something. And sometimes they just come to me in the middle of the night. But
Yeah.
the thing is though, having that sound, and translating that to Ableton or translating that to paper is so hard for me.
Yeah.
I can fathom an idea, but it's very hard to get the sound from my head to.
Well, I can show you how to do that, like.
Yeah, and I'm kind
It's
of
not-
like, I'm trying to maybe progress in that, but the
Yeah.
thing is though, even if I do, is it kind of worthwhile? Because there's so much music out there. There's too much music out there. We can live, 2 or 3 lifetimes and not hear everything. So it's, for me, it's kind of like, why put myself out there when there's already a plethora, more than enough music for one person to enjoy. That's my
Well,
kind of situation.
That depends on why you're writing music in the first place. Because if you're writing it as an outlet to express yourself, like as a form of expression, then write it and do it. But if you're writing it just for people to hear it, then you've already lost it.
Gotcha.
You know, it's not a.
It's
like
very
it-
much like personal.
Yeah, I think it
thing.
has to be like because if you start writing music for other people, you're kind of your creativity is compromised because you're trying to, what would they like?
Gotcha.
And then they
Yeah,
start
yeah.
listening to something different. So, okay, what do they like now? Whereas if you just sit down and it's, what do I like, you know?
Gotcha.
Then it's nearly therapeutic then, like when you're writing and you know, you don't have a shit taste in music. People, like, you're going to these
Yeah.
clubs and you're dancing and
Thanks.
there's other people dancing there, like,
Yeah.
so you're going to come out with something that more than likely other people will like too. So that's a given anyway, that, you know, it's not a,
Right.
but don't go out with the intent of trying to
Okay.
fucking, what will they like?
Gotcha. Very cool. That's good. I'm
'Cause
glad you
you'll
brought
be
that
chasing
up.
all your fucking life.
Right. You'll be chasing somebody
Yeah,
else's tail the whole time.
It's not going to be very fulfilling then, is it? Like, you're gonna,
Gotcha.
and you'll kind of be more proud of it then as well. Like, it's like,
Right.
yeah.
It's just a matter of, I would like to think at that time, just perfecting what you have in your own head and
yeah,
putting that out there.
yeah, exactly. If people listen to it, they listen to it. They don't. So what? Like,
Right.
It's not.
Just keep on rolling.
Yeah, exactly.
Just keep putting it out there.
Yeah.
Musical influences, like where, who did you listen to? Was it be on the radio or on Spotify or whatever?
I mean, influences. Growing up, I listened to all sorts of music. I listened to a lot of the Kinks, Oasis, The Who, Prodigy, Chemical Brothers, The Verve. There was a lot of all the Britpop scene was kicking off, like, all in the 90s, like. Then Underworld. Yeah, I listened to all sorts, like
Yeah.
Dr. Dre, when that Chronic 2001 album came out. Fuck it,
Mm.
that, like,
Mm.
yeah,
Yeah.
that when I heard that for the first time, I'd never heard it in the sound that like that before, like, you know.
Yeah, I mean, nobody have heard it. At that time when Dre made the Chronic, that was a very unique sound.
Yeah,
It
Yeah.
almost, it was kind of like, I guess in tech, it's kind of like acidy, but it was still very much hip hop based, very much rap based, and still had
Yeah.
that gangster kind of like West Coast kind of sound,
yeah.
which is
He's a genius.
yeah.
Yeah.
still.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
he's a billionaire now thanks to his headphones, but
Yeah.
regardless, I think it doesn't really change who he is and who he is now,
Yeah.
despite him having all that shitload of cash,
Yeah.
which you all try to strive for.
Fucking right.
Why the name Pretty Digital? How did that name come up? Another on names.
So that was fucking. I was in it. Well, it wasn't. Didn't last too long now. But me and two of my mates back home started it was kind of like an electronic band. They were playing guitar and I was doing the electronic side of things. And my mate just came up with the name, like, so I didn't even come up with that. And then that broke up. I kind of continued doing my own thing, like, and I just kept the name.
Got you.
That was it. But I'll give him a few quid when I get rich.
That's
you know?
fun. It made you who you are now with the
Yeah.
album that you made in 2016,
That's it.
2017.
Yeah.
And I listened to that, and the tracks that I like are Outside. It's very much like kind of progressive, like kind of house.
I love progressive, like techno and that. Like,
Yeah.
like that's.
I like that too. Now,
Yeah.
granted, it's some most of the tracks are primarily indie dance, but granted, with your new alias,
Yeah.
you're gonna branch out.
That's what I'll be doing with
And
that.
you are the only artist I've encountered that has a music video. I think that's very cool.
Yeah.
It's very, very cool. Did you lend your hand to that? What was the vision for that? And why make a video in the first place?
Right. So I did lend my hand to it, but it was a guy called Jay
Shout out.
that did it. Yeah, he did a great fucking job. Like, so it was the first single off the album, Get Used to It, and I just told him what the track was about, and I kind of had these ideas, and he kind of got all my ideas down and put them onto the film, like onto the video.
Yeah.
But yeah, he did a great job. We did some more live videos at Ford Studio then.
I've
after
seen
that.
those too. Yeah.
So I don't know why. I mean, why did we do everything? It's kind of a fucking social media. Everything's really, it's like a visual thing nearly these days. Like, you have to have some content basically. That was it. I mean, even when it goes up on Instagram, people only watch about 10 seconds of it, but
they're still watching regardless. I mean,
yeah, exactly.
for all the content that you have put out so far, it looks good
Yeah.
for sure. And it sounds good just
Thanks
as
very
well.
much. Thank
It's
you.
just a matter of like being consistent. That's what I
Yeah.
find hard. It's like,
Yeah.
how do you post every fucking day on Instagram? It's
Yeah.
like, how do you do that? Like, do you just kind of like, I'm not quite sure how, but I'm guessing you would just like take a shitload of photos on one day and then kind of launch it just very kind of slowly throughout the entire year. And or like, how do you, that's kind of like a process I'm not quite sure how to do, and it's
It's a
not
pain
quite
in
sure
the
if
arse,
I
it is.
really want. Yeah, it's a pain in the ass.
kinda-
But you kind of have to put that out there these days. You
Yeah.
can't be just a DJ,
Yeah.
anymore. This is not, the late 90s or early
Yeah.
90s where you could just be a DJ and be well known, which is kind of sad because it's
Well, see, you would have had
It's more
labels
simple.
doing all that for you back in the day. Like,
Yeah.
now it's all DIY. Like, and Instagram, it's not.
it's very much a DIY
Yeah.
for sure,
And the technology has changed a lot as well. Where
for sure.
you can take a picture with your phone. And it'll look,
Yeah, you could take a picture of your phone, FaceTime,
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
almost like sky's the limit. And
Yeah.
with technology, it's going to almost just constantly progress.
Yeah.
3 years from now, we may not use Facebook. Who knows? As much money is invested into fucking Facebook, which I
Yeah.
don't like.
No.
It may become a standard. I mean, we've had Facebook for more than 10 years. I mean, for
Yeah.
goodness sake, it's like, when are we going to transition to the next big social media platform? I'm not quite sure. But regardless, it seems like it's here to stay, and we have to use that, to push ourselves, put that out there for events and everything else. But I digress. We use Facebook every day. It's like kind of the norm anyway. Why do you play live? I play live just as well. I get a certain satisfaction out of playing
Yeah.
live. Why do you play live as opposed to using maybe CDJs or anything else?
I don't know. Like, I was just that's just the way it started, because I was writing music. Like, and it was. I started. I was in a band back home, so I've had that mentality, being in a band and creating live music. Like,
Yeah.
and that's where it came from. Like, I never had decks, or I fucking had Ableton, and I had a synthesizer. Like, so I was able to, like.
Gotcha. That was the basis.
Yeah,
For
so
what?
it kind of
that's what you
just
started-
grew
yeah.
from there. I didn't
Mhm.
say no, I don't want to be a DJ. I just don't consider myself. I've always considered myself as a live artist. Like,
Gotcha.
and I'm shit on the decks now, but I'd like to get good on them. You know what I mean?
Gotcha.
Like it's,
Maybe we could do trade off. You could show
Yeah,
me how to
definitely,
produce. I can show
yeah,
you to play in
yeah.
decks.
I mean, I don't. I think a lot of people as well just fucking decide one day that, oh, I'm a DJ. Like, when all these EDM thing kicked off over here, like, how many fucking people started being a DJ? It's actually a real skill that you need to get good at. Like,
Yes.
it's not like this. So I don't have to. Not that I don't. I'm just doing this live thing now. Like,
Mhm.
so I would like to get into it and get good at it and
Mhm.
grow, because I do love it. Like, I love going seeing a good DJ is
Yeah.
fucking great. Like, you know what I mean? But just at the minute, I consider myself as a live artist.
Yeah.
So I don't, and it didn't.
That's
it just
fine.
kind of happened organically. It didn't.
That's fine, and I would agree to that. Playing live there's a certain amount, there's a skill set to it, and whenever I play live, there's a lot more knobs, and any one of those knobs can kind of curate the sound in a good or a bad way. You have to know what you're doing. You have to be awake.
Yeah.
In that sense, you can't really get away with having a few drinks.
No.
Possibly, then
No.
get on a bunch of decks on the CDJ. It's a little bit more limited as far as what's the word I'm trying to look for? It's a little bit more limited as far as kind of how sporadic you can go.
Yeah.
Depending on what your set is going to be. Unless you maybe have somebody else to kind of tag team with you, which is cool, like live artists like Fiak or Karen or
Bicep as well.
Yeah,
a great job with that.
Yep. Or even Richie Houghton, even going to one-man shows.
The close, I think.
Yeah. From there, you can get more sporadic for as long as you have some tracks kind of laid down, and using that as kind of your foundation, using Ableton Live as kind of like a foundation for what your performance is going to be.
Well, that'd be like it'd be similar to like a band. Like if you have a good rhythm section, like if you're a drummer and your bassist are doing the thing, it gives the lead guitarist freedom to go off and do what he wants, you know. So that it's kind of it's the same mindset, like. But now that can turn into a negative thing as well if you can kind of go off on a tangent.
It can for
playing
exactly. Like there could be too much sound.
Yeah, exactly.
Like you're throwing all this shit out there to the crowd, and it's kind of like it's being diluted by everything else.
You have
so
to find a balance.
Exactly, and that's what I find playing. That's what I find playing live, was having your levels, your volume, kind of very much normalized across the board. But throwing too much sound out there, like if you use all of your faders on your TR8, it may or may not sound like crap. So you have to know when to pull back and when to push in.
And they all have to fit in, you're right.
Agreed.
But no, I think I enjoy performing as well, like doing the live thing. Like it's an enjoyable experience.
I do too.
Like it's kind of, you have a bit of freedom up there.
Yeah, it's a bit more therapeutic. You know, you can kind of just be who you are in the moment to a degree. Yeah, I would agree.
Yeah.
Do you have a favorite piece of equipment that you are using now? Like, is it the JDXI? Is it the TR8? Is it the Moog? Is it the Juno 106? Or is it like you can't really choose if there's all of them like so good?
Because they're all like when I got that Moog, like that was the first synth I got, and I was just. Yeah, that was kind of the sound that was on every track on the album. Then I got the Juno. I was using the Juno VST first while I was saving up to get the actual fucking
Got you, the
Juno.
real deal.
Yeah, so that was on all on every track on the album. But I don't know, I love them all. Like they all have their own little sound, like, and they all fit in.
Yeah,
you know, it's not
a one size fits all with different synthesizers. I feel kind of they all have like their own kind of like brain, their own kind of like feeling.
Yeah.
And I guess you could see their own kind of like passion.
Yeah.
It's like going through all those presets and all those LFOs and all those different settings. You kind of have to. There's a different feel to each one.
Definitely, yeah.
And you kind of have to really spend some time with each one of those synthesizers in order to get a feel for it and how that kind of puts your sound out there. How does that affect your sound, and how would you want to be recognized for when you put out?
Yeah, I got that TB03 there recently, like the Roland.
Yeah.
303 thing, like, and that's just
acid sounds.
Yeah, I love it.
Wonky, I love it.
And that's all I want to do now is make acid techno. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's a lot of fun to play with. So usually if I get a new synth, I'll kind of put my other synths away for a bit.
Right.
And then just use
just
that
focus
for a bit.
on that.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
And just learn all the ins and outs of it, and then reintroduce the other ones and see where they all fit in the mix.
Mm-hmm.
Because they all do different jobs. Like I kind of like using the Juno now for pads. The Subphatty will do like leads, and then now obviously the fucking TB03 will be doing a lot of that. Like, but
gotcha.
It's kind of, they all have their own place, like, you know.
Agreed.
But it's not, I don't know about favourite now, though.
That's like picking your favorite kid.
Yeah.
That's a hard question to really
Yeah.
answer. You don't want to. You have to use them all, and
Yeah.
all due respect whenever the time is right.
Yeah.
Now I know you produce as well, as you said earlier,
Yeah.
and you went to school for it, right?
I did, yeah. I went there. I mean, it was supposed to be a 3-year degree, like, but I couldn't afford to do it. I did like 2 years of it. Yeah, it was. I don't know. It was a set price for the 3 years, and then they upped the price the second year, and then they upped it for the third. And I was like, I couldn't afford it. But I felt I learned what I needed. I learned enough in the first 2 years to teach myself what I needed.
I'm in the same boat.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So
I'm
like,
100%. Like with me, my daytime job was being a welder, and
Yeah,
before I did that, I went to school for 6 months.
yeah,
And right now I'm doing an apprenticeship. But I'm like, with the apprenticeship now, it's like, man, I was doing the same thing I did in the 6-month program. So
That's
it's
it.
like, yeah. So it's like I'm already know like the majority of skill. It's just right now is just honing it.
yeah,
You know, and with you, you know, you're producing for all these different artists in the city, and I would imagine you're honing your skill,
yeah,
honing your craft, you know,
Yeah.
whenever possible with all these different artists.
yeah,
Outside of the electronica genre, it could be with again with indie dance, it could be with rap, whomever.
yeah. It's I mean, it's a great. It's an opportunity. I think to learn a lot as well. Like, 'cause if you're working with different artists from different genres, like they'll bring their experiences to the table then, and then you end up learning. You know, you bring your
Right.
skills, they bring theirs, and then you both learn. And
Yeah.
yeah, but having a good foundation and a good knowledge of whatever software or whatever instruments or whatever, you know, that's important at the start. Like, you know, then
Right.
you can start branching out then.
Now, listening to some of your tracks off your album, and listening to actually seeing some of your clips on Instagram,
Yeah,
you work with a lot of artists here in the city, and I think there's like this one category on Instagram. I just recently got into Instagram like about a year or so ago, so
Yeah.
I'm not as familiar as with Facebook. But there's this section that you have called sound sessions on your Instagram.
stereotype sound.
Stereotype
sessions,
sound.
yeah.
Sorry, forgive me. And I'm listening. I'm seeing all these artists, all these vocalists,
Yeah.
and you know, put their sound out there. And my question to you is, what do you look for in a vocalist when it comes to a track or within their track? You know, what kind of sound are you trying to create with that vocal? You know, and how does that relate to you?
Right. So, the last project I was on, like with that I was telling you about with that label and stuff, like I'd already had songs written, and they gave us a list of like local artists. So I kind of like I listen to their vocals and see what would fit the song. You
Gotcha.
know, like if it's an aggressive type of song, you don't want someone who's not an aggressive singer singing it. So you have to kind of I'd write around that. Like once I hear the vocals, go, oh, yeah, he or she would sound good on that. Like, but that sound sessions, that was actually there was 3 of us doing them nights. Like that was I played a gig last December it was in South Philly, and 2 lads, shout out to them, Angel and Buggy, both artists from Philly. They were running it, and they asked me to join up with them. So it was like every 3rd Saturday of the month we'd get local artists, didn't matter what genre, and we'd do it in a secret location.
Secret location.
Yeah, we actually did one in that room right there too.
Boom.
That was yeah.
Only I know the location now.
Yeah. And that was May's one. I think we had Kelsey Cork, Joe River. Yeah, there was. Yeah, we've been
Jamming
lucky
out.
enough to work with a lot of artists. Yeah, but we do we were on open mic on the 1st of the month. Then like so, I've taken a step back from that just to focus on what I've got going on now
Gotcha.
with the new project. But they were, honest to God, they were the best nights I've had in Philly. Just the talent that used to come through and play, like the open mics even, like it was just, it was great. It was a great experience. Yeah, we're doing it for nearly a year now. Yeah.
Well, I'll tell you what, with the space that you have upstairs and what you're trying to make it be, that may come back. You know, even though you do
Hopefully,
have,
yeah,
you know, even though you do have this new project and you're working on that consistently,
yeah,
you know, whenever you have maybe a little bit of free time,
yeah.
that may kind of like shine itself back
Hopefully,
with the new
yeah.
space.
Well, I know the lads are still gonna do it. Like, so
Oh, yeah,
I'd still
I
be
know,
going
yeah,
to
yeah.
them. Like, they're great nights, and if anyone out there in Philly is looking for something to do on the third Saturday of the month, they're fucking great nights. They or even if you just want to perform, give Boogie Mandela a show.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Do a lot of artists come through from through Rec Philly,
Through Rec.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is my first one of my couple times I've been here.
Rec is on the 4th floor there. It's I can't say for sure how many artists they have exactly.
There's a lot of doors here.
Yeah, there's a lot of them. Then Drew that you met earlier, he has his own thing. He's got he does artist development and performance and stuff. He's the performance room. He's been a great help to me the last couple of years as well. There's a good kind of community here.
Yeah, it's a good vibe.
Yeah, it is. It's a great build. It's full of creatives. Rec actually just got a spot on 9th and Market Street there.
Oh no shit.
Yeah, all top of the range studios and all. It's gonna be. I think they're opening next month. They've got I think they did a deal with Tidal or Spotify or so. I don't know. They've got. What's meant to be? Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Now, going into next year, I know this is kind of a little bit far ahead. Sometimes
I've got my 5-year plan though.
Okay, cool. Sometimes for me it's kind of day to day sometimes, but sometimes it's a little bit more than that.
Yeah.
But going into 2020, what do you envision yourself being as an artist, or what do you expect your sound to be then?
Well, I'm looking forward to performing as much as I can with Pretty Digital and doing the techno thing because I love doing that. So I want to just tour, go back to Ireland, go back to Europe, play as many gigs as I can. The Exit 342, I already have a lot of music done for that, so I can just release that one a month.
Gotcha.
I've got fucking 25 tracks there, so I don't really but I'm always looking to work with new artists. So if I end up working with an artist and we want to put a track out next month, we can do it. But I have all these tracks to fall back on, so. And I have the label then I'm setting up as well. So I just want to keep building, keep building.
Just keep building, keep progressing.
Yeah, keep playing live,
totally understand.
keep recording, and get rich.
Yeah, I guess that helps too.
Yeah.
But I'll tell you what though, we were jamming upstairs earlier. And speaking of getting rich, it looks like White Claw is getting rich.
Fucking hell. It's everywhere.
It's fucking everywhere. I hate this shit, but it's somehow I keep drinking. It's fucking everywhere now. It's like the stuff you would drink for pre-gaming and shit like that. But now the shit's everywhere. I can't believe it.
I tell you, I don't know who it was. Someone was in the studio there about a month ago.
Okay.
I don't drink. They left a box of it there. So I've just been handing it out to use anytime I was sick looking at the stuff. I think it's like a seltzer water or something, is it?
Yeah, it's like a hard kind. It's like seltzer with some vodka in it, something like that.
I was down in Warehouse and Watts at a gig a while back, and I asked, that's what I drink when I'm out, seltzer water or Red Bull.
Gotcha. Yeah, because another thing too, nobody's going to ask you what's in your cup when you're out there, hanging out, having fun. It could be anything. That's what I used to do going to Voyeur, just have a little glass of a cup of Coke, but nobody would, look twice.
But fucking your one behind the bar anyway gave me one of these White Claws, thinking I'd wanted it a hard seltzer. I was like, I only seen the 5%. Sorry, the 5% on them. No, take that back, please.
Yeah. But what made you just quit drinking?
It's just doing too much of it.
Gotcha.
Yeah. That I don't know. I was kind of fucking in a bit of a mess,
That's fine.
But
all
the other stuff too.
Was it just I'm just gonna stop this? Kind of sort of, because sometimes when you're in that kind of situation, it's tough to kind of let go, or was it just kind of like that, kind of like a snap of fingers?
Was it tough to let go? When I made the decision, I was kind of tricking myself for a while, saying, I definitely want to give it up, and I was going to see hypnotists and going to fucking this and that, I didn't want to give it up. I was loving it, I enjoyed it as much as it was fucking up my life. I was still doing it. And anyone who says they can't give up, it's just full of shit. You just don't want it. You know what I mean? No matter what they can't. So I just woke up one day and then I decided I don't want to do this anymore, and I needed a bit of help, so I went and got it, and that was fucking 4 years ago now. So
congrats.
Cheers, thanks very much. But it's
keeping it going.
Yeah, that's it. Things get better, you know. You think it's hard at the start, like, and that's why kind of you needed help, you know. But I was definitely my own worst enemy for a long time, like, and I was making excuses, blaming other people, and that's all bullshit, you know.
Yeah.
It's you dig your own hole. Like,
Well, I tell you what, everybody's got their demons, to a degree,
yeah,
and it's just a matter of being upfront and being truthful to yourself and kind of like confronting
it.
it and be real
yeah,
and sticking to it.
yeah,
Now you are a boxing fan,
yeah.
true? You're a big Tyson Fury fan.
I love him. Yeah,
Yeah.
They fucked us all up the other week.
Dude, I know, right? For real.
Yeah. I think I'm looking forward to hopefully the Wilder fight now.
Yeah. Whenever that may be.
Gets a fucking good decision this time instead of that was a joke the last time. Like, but
Is that his next fight with Wilder?
Yeah.
Like going? Okay,
yeah.
that's gonna be on pay-per-view. I know you're gonna buy that for sure. That's gonna be up there. But the thing is, though, whenever like it's a big sporting event like the Super Bowl or a fight comes on, like I've always had this like temptation to like want to bet, but I'm not quite sure where to bet and how much money to put down. It's always been kind of like a gray kind of area for me. I always wanted to do it whenever there's a big sporting event on, but
yeah,
whatever.
I never got into betting.
I never got into betting either.
No.
Despite
I was always broke. Didn't have
yeah, I know. Yeah,
I'd rather get drunk with me €10 than fucking.
And the sugar house is right there too.
Fucking horse that having a clue about.
Wait, you know what? I'll tell you what. I've been to the Sugar House Casino, but I
Yeah.
never gambled. It's always like just to grab something to eat and just kind of take a look around.
I just don't get it. Like, I don't get like what do you know if you're going and you buy a drink, you're getting drunk. Like, but I don't get the buzz out of just giving me money to someone and then it's gone and then I like feel
Pretty much.
Yeah, like it might win or it might not. At least you know when you're going to get what you're gonna get fucking drunk or high. Or,
Right,
you're
you're gonna have some satisfaction out of it rather than like the chance of failure.
Yeah.
To some extent, yeah. I'm the same way.
But I don't know, whatever you're into.
How's the dog?
He's great. He's doing a lot better since he had hip surgery there a while ago, so he's on the mend. He's having his hydrotherapy and all. And
I've seen it on Instagram. He's going through that little hydrotherapy. Yeah, that's right. It's like he's on like a little treadmill.
Yeah,
kind of sort of, which is cool.
Great service. They're great over there. Actually, we bring him to a vet's over in Jersey, and they were great. They were sending pictures, during the surgery and all, and giving updates and real communicating very well. Yeah, he's great. So hopefully, I'm just fostering him now. So hopefully,
what breed is he?
He's a pit bull.
Okay.
Blue pit.
Gotcha.
He's a big baby, But hopefully we can get him a good home. If anyone out there is looking for a home, or to give a pit bull a home,
there you go.
Show. Yeah.
Now I've come across a lot of people during podcasts as well as DJing as well as just going out.
Yeah.
And what I noticed is a lot of people in Philly, most people in Philly have tattoos. Do you have any tattoos? And if so, what do they represent, man?
Yeah. Different things. Like I have a few of them. That 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and I'm getting another one next week.
Word.
But they kind of do. I kind of like getting them to mark occasions rather than, so.
Yeah.
So something substantial rather than going out because I don't drink or fucking.
Right.
Most people go out and party like to celebrate.
Mm-hmm.
I might get a tattoo just to stamp the occasion.
Gotcha. No, that's cool. I like that idea.
But
it's like I've always kind of debated getting a tattoo, but it's like if I get a tattoo, I kind of want somebody to ask me about it, like to give it more significance.
Yeah.
And it's like we both have gone through things in our life like that.
Yeah.
I feel are significant, but I don't want it to be something to where people ignore it, kind of sort. I always feel like it has to bring some kind of shine, to yourself and to the person that you're talking to. That's kind of like why I kind of stray away from tattoos because I'm afraid, it's like having all these tracks on a hard drive that you put your time and effort into it and nobody hears it.
There you are again. So you should be doing these things for yourself. You know what I mean? It starts with you. Like you have to, it's if you like something, just go and fucking do it. Don't. It doesn't matter what anyone else thinks.
Yep.
You know. If you want to get a tattoo,
just do it.
Do it. Want to write a song? Do it.
Are you a coffee or tea person?
Tea. I don't really drink coffee at all. Like, but I love a cup of tea now. Okay.
Gotcha.
But,
I'm more of a
okay.
coffee kind of guy.
Yeah.
Being the Puerto Rican that I am, everything's got to be fucking hot. So it's like, yeah, we got to do it like that.
Do
Two
you
more.
drink much of it?
Well, see, with coffee, it's like very much an early morning or late night kind of thing. It's
You
an
not be
early.
up all night then. Like, how do you sleep?
However I can.
Yeah.
You see, when I drink coffee, it's only like 12 ounces,
Yeah.
but that's all I need
Yeah.
just to get me through the night to get me back home to my bed.
Right.
And when I drink in the morning, it's just you get up for work.
Wake you
It's
up,
like,
yeah.
yep, just to wake me up, to have something not so sugary, I guess. But just to get my day started. It's almost like a ritual, like everybody else's kind of like ritual
you
is. I
need your
guess getting
rituals,
from mine.
don't you? Like, you need a little thing like that.
A little bit,
things,
yeah.
Like, yeah, they're important. I think. Do you put milk and sugar in it?
Just some creamer,
Yeah.
and sometimes a little bit of sweetener. But
Lovely.
mostly it's just a creamer. So yes, I guess you could say I put a little bit of sugar in it. But milk, kind of, sort of, yeah.
Or
I mean,
cream or
yeah,
whatever. Yeah, that's fucking that's another thing over here with you have like 50 different names for every, like, you have half and half, cream, or 2%, 100%. Like,
yeah, the options list
you
is you can
complicate
get
things
ticked off
so
for
much.
sure.
Yeah, just give me some milk there, please.
Well, at least with you, it's very much simple. I can't drink like the black coffee. That's like the acquired taste
Yeah.
to me. So that's like something I may progress to, but I'm just gonna stick to what I like, which is like some
Yeah.
creamer, a little bit of sweetener, and some coffee.
Lovely.
Nothing too hard, nothing too soft.
Yeah.
Just kind of like a medium, kind of nice blend, just to kind of wake you up a little bit.
Yeah.
Not like an espresso, but something a bit more milder.
Yeah.
Last two questions. We'll wrap this up. It's like almost near midnight now, so good night and good morning, I guess. What are you working on? What are you working on now?
I'm working on a few different projects now. I'm working with this girl called Bethlehem. She's fucking on a I want to say it's an a cappella album, but we're kind of, I don't know. I don't want to say too much about it, but it's
Work in progress.
yeah, exactly. I'm excited about it. Hopefully have something out in the early new year. It's a full album. Like, then I'm working with this girl, Drew, that you met earlier.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's one of Drew's clients, Alex. She's a fucking amazing vocalist. So we're doing an EP with her, and we've just been doing pre-production on that the last few weeks now. So we're getting at the studio 3rd of October.
Awesome.
But yeah, a few different projects. Then I'm working with a girl, LC the Poet. She's a hip hop artist from the Bronx. She lives down here now, and she's fucking unreal. So trying to do a bit of a crossover there between the electronic and the hip hop, and it's kind of starting. We're starting to shape the sound a little bit, and I'm excited about it. But yeah, a few things going on. Like, it's then all the I'm putting out the tracks as well.
Yeah.
I should say,
On top of
I
that,
should say that as well.
busy man.
Yeah,
That's
I'm
fine.
putting the first track from the new Pretty Digital stuff will be out in October. Bit of acid techno.
Yeah.
Fucking looking forward to that. That actually has a local artist. There's a bit of vocals on that, and it's a local rapper,
Mm-hmm.
Naoni Astros. And thanks very much, Naoni, for them vocals. You sound great. But she's on that, and that'll be out in 2 weeks. I'm gonna release the Exit 342 stuff on the same day.
Fantastic.
That's kind of like an indie song with there's a band from Weekender on that, and Ron from Ford Studios is drumming on that as well. So yeah, there's a lot good bit going on. Like,
Yeah.
it's all good,
Any shout outs, promotions, anything like that, man, before we sign off, man?
Shout out
Before we
my
go to
mum,
bed?
to my mammy. She's at home. Yeah, she came all the way over to see me, all the way over from Ireland. Hey, mammy.
Shout out. Hey, Mom.
I don't know. Yeah, fucking alright. Shout out to everyone back home, Dublin. I don't know.
I guess we'll just wrap it up there.
Yeah. Thanks very much.
Yeah, no problem.
It was
Thank
great.
you, Bobby.
Yeah, and
Thank you for spending time with me,
yeah,
dude.
it's a great thing you're doing. Like, that's
Yeah, thanks,
you know,
man.
it's important.
But anyway, ladies and gentlemen, this is episode 13 of Include with Xclude. My guest, Pretty Digital. Thank you so much. Thank you for
Cheers.
listening.
Thank you.
Like, share, subscribe, all that good shit. You can find me on SoundCloud. Believe it or not, now you can find me on YouTube. I'm trying to progress into Google Podcasts and whatever other streaming services you might find. You can find me at DJ Xclude on Instagram. You can find this guy at pretty.digital on Instagram just as well. Check out his website, pretty.digitalmusic.com. See what he has to offer. You might like it. And even if you don't, he's pumping out new tracks, as you just heard, constantly, whenever he can, with himself, as well as local artists here in the Philadelphia area. We'll put in some links into the description where you can find this guy, and I'll put some links in the description where you can find myself. I'm also on Facebook as well, of course. Facebook, YouTube, Instagram. Forget about Twitter, fuck Pinterest. I don't like Snapchat.
Yeah,
That's a bit too much. There's too much social media shit out there.
Yeah.
But everybody that I know is trying to keep up with it. But good luck with that. But anyway, thank you for spending your time. Good night. Good luck wherever you are. And we're just gonna sign this off. And the audio that you're gonna hear now is just me and Pretty, just playing some acid techno, like kind of like live impromptu kind of stuff that we were playing earlier. We were just jamming out, having a good time. And we'll leave it at that. Thank you all. Peace.
Cheers.
Good night.
Thanks very
Bye.
much. God bless.